wanted to get into the Commanders. They're holding OTAs right now in Ashburn. And some big names are not in attendance. Now, these are voluntary workouts. Let me just get that out there for those people that don't know. These are voluntary.
The O stands for optional, doesn't it? Now you're making me doubt. You just gave me that face. I always thought the O was optional.
Off-season.
Oh, it is?
I think it's off-season.
I always thought it was optional.
Off-season. I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So these are voluntary OTAs. That's the way that they're, framed by the NFLPA, by the union. You don't have to show up. Some pretty big names.
Both wrong. Organized.
Ah, dang it.
Both wrong.
You know what?
Organized team activities.
We were both up late. JP, I'm granting us both botch amnesty.
But you know what?
Not only for that, for the entire show. Just so you know.
It could stand for all three of them.
Right.
The O could stand for everything we threw out.
But there were some huge names not in attendance. Laremy Tunsil, the newly acquired left tackle from the Houston Texans, was not there. Now, when the Commanders acquired him, right when they got him, there were a few people that I heard talking about him basically saying he gets veteran maintenance days all the time. He's not going to show up for every voluntary bit, but he's a Hall of Fame left tackle. He is going to be a brick wall when people are going to try to chase Jaden Daniels.
He's going to be there, yeah.
I give him a pass
from what I read.
The voluntary OTAs.
From what I read of his history, this is, and maybe I'll botch this, SOP. Yeah. Do you know what SOP stands for?
I know what that means. Standard operating procedure.
Yes. He typically skips.
So I got no problem with that.
OTAs. Maybe he's unorganized and he skips to organized team activities.
Now, another big name that was absent, and if you want to weigh in on these absences, you can do that at 800-636-1067. Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin obviously is angling for a new contract. He wants that done. I understand that. He wants security. He wants extra years tacked onto his deal at a higher salary. And there's nobody on the roster that works harder than Terry McLaurin. I give him a pass for missing the voluntary OTAs.
But
the third big name, I'm sorry.
There's a but.
I don't have the same vitriol for this guy's EB does. And I'm sure he'd be going hard on him today because he's not here. I'm sorry, if you're Marshawn Latimore, you should be at this voluntary OTA. After the way you looked last year and the way you performed on the field, that's a guy who should have said, you know what, I'm looking to turn a new page. I want 2025 to be different. I want a clean slate. Even if you just show up and don't do the
play.
Workouts.
Right. Just claim that you're not 100% yet or whatever. Just like Dorrance Armstrong.
And go hang out with your teammates. Throw on the team-issued gear. Joke around with everybody. Do your thing. Just be there and give us the impression that you
did we know
really
why
care.
he wasn't there?
I don't know the exact reason why he's missing.
All right. And I'm not saying that there is, but there could be a reason why he wasn't there.
There could be a very valid
a personal
reason.
thing. Who knows? But
I think it's potentially a contract issue.
It could be.
Reading about his contract, I don't think he's set to make a ton of money this year. And maybe his agent is angling for an extension, which I think would be troubling for Commanders fans if they were to give him one.
Oh, if you're Adam Peters, you can't give Marshawn Latimore an extension coming off the way he looked on the field last year. I mean, he's going to be 20. He's not 29 already. He's going to be 29 during the season.
Yes.
I can't re-up him yet. Now, if he goes out and balls out and plays well and goes back to his Pro Bowl form of when he was with the Saints, then we can start the extension talk.
But he's got 2 years left. I would think maybe if he was heading into his final year, he would do that.
Yeah.
But he does have 2 more years left.
But maybe his guaranteed money's running out.
That I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about the guaranteed money.
Yeah, his cap hit for the next 2 years looks like $18 and $18.5 million.
Right.
And he's got a lot of money in his base salary, but I don't see any of the signing prorated money next to that number. So maybe that is just, it's not a lot of guaranteed money, and he wants some guaranteed money on his deal.
So actually,
that's just speculation.
Sure.
Let me tell you something. My level of concern is 0. That these 3 veterans are not at OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to chime in and you're worried, you're freaking out, 800-636-1067.
I'm not worried.
I don't think Commanders fans should be concerned about those guys missing at all. The only one that I would potentially be concerned by, because we know it's angling for a new contract, is Terry McLaurin, and I'm not worried about that one because it's Terry McLaurin, and he's such a quality person. I couldn't see him holding out.
And I have confidence that the front office, they obviously understand his value to the team and to the franchise, and that they'll eventually get a deal done. They'll hammer out a deal. Now, it may take a few days. He may miss a few days of OTAs, but I'm pretty confident that when training camp starts, end of July, he's going to have a new contract in tow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like this is going to linger on into the season.
Totally agree.
I'd be stunned.
Adam Peters even talked about it. He said, it's just part of the business, and we're working on something. So it'll get done.
But does it rub you the wrong way that Marshawn Latimore is missing the voluntary OTAs? I feel like of the three names, I feel like that's the most egregious of the three.
I wouldn't treat him any differently than Tunsil. You seem to be giving Tunsil a pass just because Tunsil has that reputation. What if you learn the exact same reputation for Latimore, that these guys always skip the OTAs?
Here's why I treat them differently. Laremy Tunsil's a Hall of Famer. Marshawn Latimore is not. And he's a very good player. He's been a Pro Bowler in the past. But Laremy Tunsil is going to the Hall of Fame. He is a lock. That's why I give him...
I don't know that their resumes are that different. Latimore has been a Pro Bowler 4 times. He was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then if you look at Tunsil, I want to say maybe he has one more Pro Bowl berth.
I just think that in NFL circles, like, Tunsil's viewed more highly than Latimore. Now, I think a lot of that is recency effect. I think Latimore may have dinged his profile by the way he played after he was acquired by the Commanders.
Yeah, Tunsil's made one more Pro Bowl than Marshawn Latimore.
Yeah.
So I think they've got very similar resumes. They're similarly aged.
I just think it's bad optics for Latimore to miss coming off the season that he just had.
Maybe it's bad optics, but I just don't know why you're treating those two different. They're about the same age. They're veterans, very similar accomplishments in the league, both on their second teams, both relatively new to the team. Tunsil newer to the team because he was acquired in the offseason. Latimore in the middle of the season.
Maybe it's just because I don't have any real experience with Tunsil yet. I don't feel like he's been on the roster yet, and I haven't seen him play. I've been tainted by the Latimore play. Like if Latimore had come in,
Latimore's actually a year younger. If
Latimore had come in and played like a Pro Bowler, like he had done previously, and he skipped OTAs, I'd be like,
you'd be fine.
Okay, no big deal.
Now, there are reasons he didn't look that way.
I understand. He had the lingering hamstring injury.
He wasn't 100%.
I fully understand.
And I did read that he missed some OTAs in New Orleans as well. So and again, it might be the business side of things. We don't know. But if he missed OTAs here in Washington because he's angling for an extension, I would have a slight problem with it. But if he missed it because he just doesn't feel physically up to it, or if he's got something else going on personally, that's a different story. But if he doesn't feel 100%, he still should be there.
Here's an article.
I agree.
Here's an article about the 3 guys who are skipping OTAs. This is from Brian Manning, Commander's Wire. What he pointed out is what I read yesterday, that Latimore does have 2 years remaining on his contract, but just $2 million left in guaranteed money. So again, it's speculation as to why he's not there at OTAs.
I'm sure that's part of it.
And maybe Commanders fans are worried. I wouldn't worry at all. And I wouldn't apply a different standard to Tunsil than Latimore. Would you, Jason? I mean, Cakes is putting a different standard on those two guys. Would you?
I mean, I don't know the history of Tunsil when he was in Houston. I don't know if he skipped on the reg or I'm more confident that Tunsil is going to be there healthy and playing left tackle for the Commanders. Latimore, I think he's going to be fine, but if he's holding out because he wants a contract extension, I would probably have an issue with that.
All right, let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. What do you make of the 3 high-profile Commanders missing the first day of OTAs out at Ashburn? Let's go to Dennis. He's calling in from Reston. Dennis, you're on with the Junks. Good morning.
Morning, Cakes. How you doing, man? Thanks for taking my phone call.
Sure.
Okay, regarding the 3 guys, Terry McLaurin, what annoys me in McLaurin is that his agent and that our team, the guys that do the dealing and the dealing with regarding the money, they don't have their acts together yet. Okay, they, in my opinion, should have been taken care of. Tunsil, they say he's Hall of Fame. He's really good. I don't really know a lot about him, but if he's that good, I guess we can excuse this. But still, he's here with a fresh team. In my opinion, he should be here. Okay, he's not here. Okay, we'll let it go. Day 2, though, 2 days in a row. That's a little bit alarming. Maybe missed yesterday, but maybe these guys should be here today. Latimore, the way he played last year, and considering everything else, I don't know. I'm not, and I agree with Cakes. I'm not putting them on the same sheet of music. I mean, these guys. Latimore should be here. He should be here, not only for the fact that it's a new team for him. He was here a little bit last year, but he played terribly last year, and he should be here. And that's what I feel. How I feel, guys.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Appreciate the call.
I think most people are going to feel that way. Most Commanders fans will feel.
Yeah, they feel
they understand McLaurin. They already love McLaurin.
Yeah,
and they understand why he's holding out, and he deserves a new contract. Tunsil, that's like Dennis said. I believe most fans would feel that Latimore, based on how he played last year, should have been here.
I think a lot of Commanders fans feel like Latimore, they acquired damaged goods. I feel like they feel a little bit burned by what they saw from him once he made his way onto the field.
Well, he's got a lot to prove.
I don't know. Maybe people are just panicking because this is fresh and new. Yeah. It's the first day of OTAs. These are big names that are missing. So maybe it's just a little, look, it's late May. Some people
need to relax a little bit,
but I don't know. I think of those 3, the one that jumps out at me is Latimore. I don't know. For some reason, I'm giving Tunsil a full pass.
Okay,
I'm not concerned about him
and McLaurin.
And McLaurin. That goes without saying.
I do have a beef to pick with you, Cakes.
Yeah.
You called him a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, at his current trajectory, I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy.
He's Hall of pretty good.
He's the Hall of good.
Not even pretty good?
Hall of good.
Hall of good?
Yeah. I mean, you had him.
Good's better than pretty good, isn't it? Or is pretty good better than good?
I would say pretty good's better than good.
Pretty good is
okay.
Pretty good is always better than good. You're adding pretty to good.
I don't know how they rate left tackles to get into the
Hall. Tunsil doesn't have a single All-Pro.
Really good is better than good. Pretty good is like not really good, but it's pretty good.
I think one of those giant speakers fell on Cakes' head last night.
Right? Isn't pretty good less than good?
I don't think so.
Generally speaking, pretty good is less than good.
Really?
Yeah, because think about it. Think about it. Somebody's good, but if you say somebody's pretty good, they're tickling good.
Yeah, they're tickling good. He's right.
If somebody says, Cakes, how's that steak? And I say, it's good. That to me is a very mediocre recommendation. If somebody says,
but if they said it this way, it's good.
No, I would always, I'm always going to throw a pretty onto good for emphasis. Somebody says, "How's that steak?" I would say, "No, I don't think so." I would say it's pretty good, pretty good. Not just good. To me, good just means it's lacking. There's something missing.
If someone asked you how the steak was, and you would say, "Good."
Cakes.
You would kind of downplay it.
If it was really good, I would say it's either really good or it's pretty good.
I'm looking up something which is defining this, Cakes.
Am I insane?
I think you're botching it.
Am I an insane person?
This is from
lack of sleep.
This is from Grammar How.
Yeah.
Some site. And it says, when you use pretty good, you signal that you're doing good, though not entirely good. If you're pretty good, you might have a couple of problems, but be good overall. I think good is stronger than pretty good.
Well, I'm going to vehemently disagree.
You can put emphasis on the pretty to make it stand out.
Yes, the voice inflection definitely counts.
Yeah,
you say, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Right, but you can also say,
Hey, this is good.
Yeah,
Hey, this is good.
It's true. It's a very good
I
point.
know.
All right, that said, Marshall Latimore wasn't very good.
No.
Wasn't even pretty
I wouldn't even
good,
say he was good.
especially against Tampa in the playoffs when
Right.
Mike Evans
Yeah.
just torched him
Well, I mean, he does
over
that,
and over and over
he
again.
does that to a lot of people.
Mhm.
I mean, Mike Evans, this is not hyperbole. Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. You can take that one to the bank.
And I do
Because
think
he's pretty good.
Cakes is overstating Tunsil's resume. If
I
he
don't
was
know.
so silly,
Well-
he probably wouldn't have been traded in what should be his prime. Obviously,
I don't know
the
how-
Houston Texans were like, yeah, we gave up a ton of sacks with that guy. We don't need him.
Yeah, I would
Well,
think that.
the line may have given up a lot of sacks. He didn't.
But Cakes, if you thought
Because he's pretty good.
if you thought Tunsil was a Hall of Famer, you'd
Yeah.
say he's great. Hall
You're
of
right.
Famers are great. They're not pretty good.
I
Or
tend to
good.
agree with you.
Cakes is in the tank for Tunsil. You know why?
I guess
I
am.
think, didn't you draft him in one of our mock drafts years ago?
Laremy Tunsil?
I think you did.
A mock draft of what? A big fat
When
offensive
we did a
lineman?
mock NFL draft, for some reason,
Oh, I don't know.
I've attached
I may
Tunsil
have.
to you, and I think probably deep in the recesses of your brain, you've been a Tunsil guy ever since he
That
wore
could-
that marijuana mask.
that could be part of it. By far, my worst mock draft pick of all time was picking Johnny Manziel for the Cleveland Browns. But I did that only because they were desperate for a quarterback.
So, again, I don't think it's a big deal that McLaurin's not there. If you talk to me in August and he's still doing this, well, then it's closing in on a big deal.
All right,
Don't think it's a big deal that Latimore's not there, and don't think it's a big deal that Tunsil's there. Cakes believes the Latimore thing is a big deal.
I do. You're welcome to weigh in.
Is it a
800.
big deal or a pretty big deal?
It's a pretty big deal last time I checked. 800-636-1067 is the number. Does it rankle you that guys like Terry McLaurin, Laremy Tunsil, and Marshawn Latimore skipped out on the, have to put this word out there, voluntary OTAs that started yesterday in Ashburn? We'll take more of your calls next at 800-636-1067.